Wye Valley Brewery, Butty Bach.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. This is a beer. It was actually requested by a viewer about a year ago, possibly even longer. So I finally got round to it. I mean, that's fucking piss poor on my part, I know. But I saw this in Asda's the other day. Was going shopping for a suit, would you believe? Now, I've vowed never ever to wear a suit again. I think the last suit I wore when I was about 30 years old, when I went for the job at my current employer. And after that, I vowed never again am I going to wear a suit. And I've managed to avoid wearing suits since then. But I've been given an ultimatum by my missus' daughter, and she said I cannot wear fucking combat boots, anything leather, anything black, even anything related to do with bikes. No band t-shirts, nothing like that. So I've been told to get a suit. So we went down to the Ashford outlet in Kent. Oh, fuck me, we went to this, what was this place? Suits Direct or something. Jesus, the fucking state of the suits. Honestly, they were fucking horrendous. This is the kind of shit they were serving up. Not for me. You can fuck off. You got more chance of platting piss and knitting fog on the 30th of February than you have of me wearing anything like that. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. Watch this space. Anyway, enough of that. Nearby, the outlet centre was an Asda, and I popped in there. And the beer selection wasn't great, but they did have some of this. And I thought, I've got to get some of this because somebody's requested it. They've said it's very good, and that I should review it, so here I am reviewing it. Now, this is from the Wye Valley Brewery, based in Herefordshire, and that is quite significant because along with Kent, Hereford is renowned for its hops, and they do make a big thing about them them being established in Hereford, so they've got access to good hops, which is brilliant. I think that's fantastic, using English hops. There is English hops in here. I'll get onto them in a bit, but the fact that they are situated there is a really good sign. So I'm hoping this is going to be full of character, and the ingredients look really special, so I'll get onto them in the next section. The brewery's been going since 1985, and they are situated in the Wye Valley, as I say, which is in Herefordshire. I've actually been to Herefordshire, or Hereford I should say. I was, how can I put this politely? Years ago, I had a Welsh mate who supported Cardiff City, and he'd come down to London. He was working in London, and he'd occasionally come to West Ham with me and said, you should come over to Cardiff City with me. Fucking hell, what a big mistake that was. Cardiff City in the early 90s were absolutely fucking mental. Wherever they went, there was carnage. And one of their big rivalries, they did have a couple of big rivalries with the English border teams, and that would have been Shrewsbury and Hereford. Hereford was the bigger rivalry out of the two, and I remember going up there, and yeah, it all kicked off. There was various, how should we say, differences of opinions with opposing fans, and I think blows were exchanged. Yeah, I'm not going to go into it any further, but needless to say, it was effing lively. I don't remember much about the town, or is it a city of Hereford? I think it's a city, but yeah, I don't remember much of it, to be honest. We were, how can we put it? I'm really trying to be diplomatic here because I don't want to come across as a football hooligan, but I did used to I just used to associate with some rather unsavoury characters back in the day, and some would say I still associate with them now, and I'm going to leave it at that. But there you go, I've been to Hereford, that's all I'm going to say. The brewery was established in 1985. The original founder was a fellow called Peter Armour, and he used to work for Guinness, and his son soon joined the brewery as well. He used to work, or he studied at Younger's Brewery, and he came there as well, so they obviously had some experience before they started that up. And it's been going since 1985, and I've looked at the range of beers that they do, and they're really good. The brewery looks fantastic as well. It's very green, very eco-friendly, and as I say, they've got access to the wonderful hops that are grown in Herefordshire. So this is shaping up to be quite a decent bottle. So without further ado, let's shut up about that and let's get this beer investigated. Right, Butty Bach. It is a 500ml bottle. It is 4.5%. What does it say? Butty Bach is a Welsh term for little friend, and the Moorish bottle conditioned brew certainly has made a few friends in its time. Crafted from fine ingredients included extra pale Maris Otter malted barley. That is a fantastic barley or malt to brew with, and some of the best beers I've tried from England have used Maris Otter, so that's looking good. Butty is a burnished gold in colour and boasts a smooth, satisfying taste. Okay, storage and serve. How to serve: store upright, serve lightly chilled, which this is lightly chilled at the moment. Pour with care and leave the natural sediment in the bottle. I never do that. I always pour it in. That's just me. Ingredients: water, extra pale Maris Otter malt, malted barley, crystal malted barley, flaked wheat, Fuggles hops, Golden hops, and Bramlin Cross hops. All good English hops, and I think, well, I'm almost certain they've been grown in Herefordshire. And it mentions the yeast as well. This is what I love, and more brewers should be doing this. They put in exactly what is in the beer. Now, obviously, they may be finding, well, they won't be finding in this because it's bottle conditioned, but they're putting what type of ingredients, and I love that. That's brilliant. That's given me an indication already that this is a good beer. So with that in mind, let's get this open and let's get it investigated. Right, here we are. Oh, there's little Bob. I didn't see you there, mate. He's waiting to go for a walk. I'll give him a walk in a bit. Evenings are getting a little bit darker now, so I've got to take him out a little bit earlier for their daily walk. I don't take them out during the day. It's way too hot, and they'd be struggling, especially Percy, being the little fucker that he is. There you go, there's the cap. And into the glass it shall go. Now, I've just tasted I've just done a review of the Bass Pale Ale, which was okay. Then I did that Vilkmerges Creek beer, which is horrendous stuff. It was a Lithuanian attempt at a Creek beer, and what they did is they'd brewed a Vit beer and just poured cherry concentrate into it, and it was horrendous stuff. Daughter liked it, she's having it with her dinner now, but that is not for me at all. Right, here it is in the glass. This glass is filthy, for fuck's sake. What is wrong with that bloody dishwasher? We'll have to get on. There is fucking tons and tons of carbonation in that. It's bottle conditioned, I know, but interesting aroma. Not big. Vague sort of biscuit malt on that, biscuit and caramel malt, and some leafy hop aromas. Oh, look, and there's a bit more fruit on there now. It smells quite sweet as well. Oh, and there's little Bob. Right, Bob, you've got to be careful here, mate, because you cause more damage than Percy will. Hello, my little friend. Just in case you didn't know, Percy's always hogging the limelight. This is little Bob, and he's a little fucker. He doesn't like being handled or moved around, but he likes getting his belly rubbed, don't you, mate? Eh? I think he's a cross between a Yorkshire Terrier and a Chihuahua, and he's got a lot of Chihuahua fucking traits because they're vicious little yappy dogs, and he can be like that at times, but he's a good old egg, isn't you, mate? Eh? You're like Percy. Percy batters him. He's like a battered husband, isn't you, mate? Eh? Get out of it, you. That's quite creamy, and I think that's the Maris Otter that's in there. It smells like there's some crystal malt in there too. But it's sweet and floral. That's the big thing that I'm getting from it at the moment. Let me get the rest of the yeast in there. I'm going to pour it in. I know they say don't, but it's going in. Waste not, want not. I think that's something I've picked up from drinking German Weizen. There you go. There it is in the glass. It is a golden colour. Lots and lots of carbonation in that. Head is one finger. Foamy white head. Looks good. There's a few floaters in there as well. Okay, let's get it down the hatch. Bottoms up. Oh, that's quite nice. Oh, that is really nice. Oh, I'm liking this. Let me have another go. Right, very full-bodied, quite malty. There is a fruity type flavour which is quite big on that, and I'm trying to put my finger on what type of fruit it is. I'm thinking pear and apple in a good way, like orchard fruits, but let me dig into that because this is intriguing. It's very complex on the first few mouthfuls. Yeah, it's orchard fruit, apple and pear, a sort of a mixture of it, and that's really nice. It's very, very easy drinking. That huge carbonation in there does not translate to the mouthfeel. It's very smooth. It's really nice. I'm liking this a lot. There's no real hot bitterness on that, and with Fuggles and Goldings on there, I would have expected a lot more. But the dominance on this is the malt. That's big, and the fruit as well. And Bob has just farted, so he's got to get down because that fucking stinks. I don't know what you've been eating, but fucking hell, you did that on purpose, didn't you? Go on. I was going to let him out. I'm getting the aroma of dog food and shit. Nice. Let's have another gander at this. Again, the aromas aren't big on this, but the flavour's really nice. It's lovely. When they say on the label that it's satisfying, it really is, because there's a good balance of flavour on this. There's a little bit of what I perceive to be biscuit and caramel malt. That's there. But then there's this big seam of what is like apple and pear to me. And there's just the vaguest hint of hot bitterness on the finish. But there's lovely complex flavours in there. It's really stretching my senses to pick up what they are. And they say to serve this slightly chilled. This is slightly chilled. I'm not sure whether that's a good thing or not, because I think you'd probably get more flavours if it was a little bit warmer. Maybe that's me. Maybe I've drank this too cold, but it's exceptionally easy drinking and full-bodied as well. Oh, this is really good. I'm really liking this. Now, they called it an English ale, or they've called it an ale basically, and that's what it is, a premium ale. It is. There's none of the hot bitterness that you would expect in a bitter, because it's not a bitter, it's an ale. There is a difference. And it's just, I don't know, I'm expecting a load of hot bitterness on the finish, and there isn't, because I don't know. That's I don't know. I suppose it's what I've been conditioned to from drinking English ales. But there really isn't much of the hop bitterness in this at all. It's all about the fruit. And again, I'm probably doing this subconsciously because I'm looking at the brew sheet and I'm thinking Bramling Cross, classic English hop. Fuggles and Goldings, well, they're just standard in English ales, and you do get some of that character coming through. Sometimes you get a little bit of spiciness and I don't know, mustiness from the Fuggles, but I'm not really getting that on here at all. There's more of that orchard fruit, which I think is coming from the Bramling Cross. It's lovely though. The malt character is quite big. And again, Maris Otter. It's rare that you get a beer that's got Maris Otter in it that isn't good. Most of the time, they're real standout beers. Maris Otter is quite expensive from what I've been told. Certainly to brew with anyway. And that's probably why you don't see it in every English ale. But when you do, and I think Hook Norton used Maris Otter quite a bit in their beers, and the Hook Norton for me are a standout brewery. They are absolutely fantastic. But they've got it in this one, and fuck me, I'm caning this. That's really nice. The finish on it is fruit, and that's what's turning my head inside out. The finish on it is subtle orchard fruit, whereas normally I'll be expecting a little bit of hop bitterness or maybe even some of the malt, but I'm not getting that. The finish is just fruit, and it's nice, it's subtle, it's full-bodied, and I really like that. That's a little bit different, but I like it. That is a great beer. What is the verdict on Butty Bach from the Wye Valley Brewery? Well, as I say, a viewer suggested this to me over a year ago now, and I've been completely and utterly fucking slack in getting a bottle of it. But I really should have taken heed to what he was saying, because he was saying that it's a great beer, and it is. It's fantastic. It'll throw you if you're used to your bitters, if you're used to your ales, your English ales. Normally, as I say, and as I said before, on the finish you either get the big biscuit and caramel malt, sometimes even toffee if you're going for a strong ale or a darker ale, or you get a lot of hop bitterness, spicy hop bitterness, certainly from English Fuggles and Goldings as well. But this one is a bit different. The finish is all about the fruit, and I can't really discern any of that musty hop character that I would be expecting from the Fuggles and Goldings, but it really is good. It's so easy drinking as well. It's smooth, it's moorish, and I'm loving it. That could be a perfect session ale. Really like that. Gonna buy it again, because yeah, that's a good one. And for me, I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Why am I giving it 10? Call me cynical, but I do like a little bit of the hop bitterness, regardless of what ale it is. I do like a little bit of the earthiness, the musty and the spicy notes that you get from English hops, or certainly from them types of English hops. They're not there, but what they're lacking in that, they certainly make up for in fruit, and it's really good. I really do like that, and that's different. What they've done there is, well, I suppose it is unique really. I don't think I can recall an ale like that where the finish is just pure orchard fruit. Lovely. Mouthfeel is superb, smooth, and just moorish. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. That's a great beer. That's a really nice beer, and I think a lot of it's got to do with they've really chosen the hops in this really carefully. And I don't know how they brewed it, but they've managed to get the fruit to stand out in it. And the fruit in English hops is often overlooked, or it's not. I wouldn't say it's overlooked. It doesn't really shine as much as well, certainly not as much as there is in this, because a characteristic of English ale, and certainly English bitter, is the spiciness of the hops and the musty and earthy notes that you get from there as well. Yes, you do get fruit on them, and certainly in the ruby ales and the darker ales there is a lot of fruit, but you tend to find there's going to be a little hop bitterness, or a little bit of more of the darker side of the hop, if you like. But no, they've done something unique here. They've managed to get rid of all that and just bring the fruit out, and the fruit is the finish on that as well, and it's nice. I'm loving that. That's a 9 out of 10 for me. That's definitely recommended. Superb. And remember, beer is working class champagne.